If your videos still look beginner, there's a good chance it's not because of your camera. It's probably because of a few small mistakes that are quietly ruining that final image. Today, I'm breaking down 10 mistakes beginner filmmakers make that instantly make their videos look amateur. I've made all of these. Most people have. But if you catch them early, your footage gets better really fast. Number 1, shooting the wrong frame rate. A lot of beginners shoot everything in 60 FPS because they think higher number means better video. And that's just not the case. 60 FPS is great if you're slowing footage down. But if you shoot just normal talking head content like you see before you, it can start looking way too smooth, almost like a soap opera or a sports broadcast. If you want that classic cinematic motion, you gotta start with 24 FPS. You should only really be using 60 or 120 when you need slow motion. Don't just shoot a higher frame rate just because the camera can. This camera that I'm shooting on right now can go up to 120. I seldom use the 120 FPS function. Number 2, cranking your ISO. High ISO is one of the biggest reasons footage looks cheap. ISO isn't lighting. Say it again. ISO is not lighting. It's a tool for sure. You use it to brighten the image when you have to, but it typically comes with a cost. You get noise, you get grain, less clean color, and all that translates to a less professional image. If your footage looks bad in low light, the answer is usually not turn the ISO higher. A lot of modern mirrorless cameras are doing a lot to change this, right? Like for example, I'm shooting on a Sony A7S3 right now, and it has dual base ISO. So if I am in a dark situation, I can turn the ISO up to 12,800 and not see that extra grain, that extra noise, because it has a second native ISO point. I could go into extreme depth on 1, how great that is for filmmakers like us, and 2, how many times that saved me. But unless your camera has those special options or abilities, please don't just crank up your ISO because it's dark. Please don't do that. Number 3, leaving your camera on auto. Auto settings are fine when you're learning where the record button is. They are. But if you actually want control over your image, you need to get out of auto. Auto mode is you leaving your camera in control, and you're telling your camera, you got it. So auto exposure, auto ISO, auto white balance, auto shutter, good. The camera doesn't know or care about your creative vision. It cares about making a technically acceptable image. That's it. That's all it knows how to do. It doesn't know that you want this to look a certain way. So that's where manual mode comes in. And shooting in manual is when you start making decisions on purpose. You decide your depth of field, you decide your motion blur, you decide your general exposure, and ultimately, you decide the look. And when you're deciding the look, that's when your footage starts feeling intentional. Number 4, bad exposure. Bad exposure will destroy your footage fast. Too bright, blow out the highlights and you lose all the detail. Too dark, you crush all your shadows and then everything else gets noisy when you go to fix it. And unfortunately, this mistake happens a lot by just trusting your camera screen. Your LCD screen can lie to you, especially outside, in bright environments, and especially when you're moving too fast. So use your tools like the histogram, the waveform. Zebras, when it comes to exposure, are my favorite because those are there for a reason. They're gonna show you when things are clipping. They're gonna show you when things are way too dark. And the goal is to protect your highlights, keep the detail of your shadows, and give yourself something clean to work with in post. Because once that detail's gone, straight out of camera, it's gone. There's no magic edit button or fix in any software to fix busted exposure. Number 5, not color grading or color grading poorly, and this one hurts me because I was so bad at it for a long time. You can shoot good footage and still make it look unfinished by doing nothing with the color, especially if you're shooting in log. Because if you're shooting in log and don't grade it, your footage is going to look flat, gray, and dead, and that's not a style, that's an unfinished image. I was super guilty of it many years ago. Color grading is where you bring your footage to life. That's whenever you can really dial in your contrast, your skin tones, your saturation. That's when you set the mood, set your style. Even a simple correction makes a huge difference. You don't have to build a million nodes into an insane Hollywood grade, but at least correct the image. Subtle white balance, exposure, contrast, saturation, adjustments, especially skin tones, go a long way. Do the basics. Your footage will instantly look more finished. Number 6, not using light. Again, I was super guilty of this. A lot of beginners spend all their money on cameras and lenses, then completely ignore lighting. Which is insane because lighting changes the image more than almost anything. You don't always need expensive lights either. You can use a window, you can use a lamp, or you go outside and use the sun. Typically in some shade, but use the sun. Use literally anything other than filming in a dark corner. Find the best light in a room, build your shot around it. That's the move. Bad lighting makes expensive cameras look cheap. Good lighting makes cheap cameras look expensive. A lot of times you'll hear professionals say that they can go beat somebody with an Arri Alexa or a Red Digital Cinema or some fancy camera with a cheap old camera. And what they're really saying is they understand how to light a scene and they understand how lighting works so much better that it doesn't matter what camera's in their hands. They're going to get a good product out of it because they understand how lighting works. Number 7, bad audio. Bad audio will make people leave faster than bad video. You can get away with slightly imperfect visuals. You can, but if the audio's peaking, distorted, echoey, or way too quiet, people are gone. You, as a viewer, will tolerate a video that doesn't look the best, but you can understand what somebody's saying crystal clear the whole way, or the sound is appeasing the whole time. You will tolerate that way more than something that looks beautiful, is cinematically stunning, and then as soon as you turn the sound on, it sounds atrocious. You will tolerate the better sound, worse visuals way more than the beautiful visuals and terrible sound. So like, stop using the built-in camera mic. That's a great starter. Get a microphone, move it as close to the subject as possible. Lavs, shotguns, external recorders, whatever it is. You can even use your iPhone and put it in the scene and record off of that, because the closer the mic is to the source, the better. For example, you can see on me right now, that microphone is right beneath my chin. It is really close. This is the microphone you're hearing right here. 99% of the time, the closer the mic is to the sound source, the better. But watch your levels. Because you don't want your audio slamming into the red. If you're way too close, your audio is going to clip, it's gonna peak, it's gonna be nasty. So a good general target is around -12 decibels when you're recording, and that'll help you get that clean audio. And again, clean audio makes videos feel professional immediately. Number 8, shaky footage. Shaky footage is not the same as handheld. That's where beginners get confused. Handheld can look great whenever it's controlled. Somebody who's been shooting for a long time can control their camera, but random jittery camera shake usually just looks like you didn't know what you're doing. Stabilize your shots. Using a tripod, a monopod, people got the gimbal. I love my gimbal. Camera strap tension. You can lean up against the wall, tuck your elbows in, make your body work like a rig, whatever works, because handheld movement does not mean jittery and shaky. All right, the goal is to make every shot pretty smooth. Maybe not perfectly smooth, but pretty smooth. Number 9, choosing the wrong song. Music will make or break your edit. A lot of beginners will finish the video, put some random song under it, call it done. That's backwards. Your song choice should support your footage. Pacing, the emotion, the energy, most importantly, the audience that this video is for. If the song feels wrong, the whole video feels wrong. And once you pick the right song and actually edit to it, you can cut to the beats. Some people like to cut on bass, some people like to cut on snare, some people like to cut between. Those people are psychos, but don't just throw random music under there. Make the footage and the music work together. Number 10, and in my opinion, the biggest one, forgetting the story. This is the biggest mistake. Beginner filmmakers get obsessed with the camera, the settings, the lenses, the LUTs, the color, the slow motion, the gimbal shot, the steady cam, all these other things, and they forget the most important question. What is this video actually about? Who is this video for? Pretty footage with no purpose is just a screensaver. It's just slop. Before you shoot, know your story. What's the point? What's the emotion? What does your audience need to understand? Why should they care? This applies to everything in what we do. Whether it's a brand video, a real estate reel, a sports edit, a wedding video, or just a YouTube video like this. Sure, your visuals can get attention. Your sound can keep people there, but the story is what makes it. So, shoot in the right frame rate. Please don't crank your ISO. Stop relying on auto. Expose your footage properly. Learn how to color grade. Use light to your advantage. Get clean audio. Practice getting stable shots. Pick the right song. And for the love of God, tell a story. If you fix those 10 things, your videos will immediately stop feeling so beginner. Not because you went and bought the FX3 because someone on TikTok told you to, but because you started making better decisions.